So, I have a hair across my ass because of a leftist named Boston Brian. I have to live like 30 minutes from this guy. The left has attempted to co-opt many aspects of our culture. I'm officially putting my foot down. I am not letting the left take my accent and make it woke. It mechanically doesn't work. Dude, I'm such a fucking intersectional feminist kid. Hell no. Listen to this guy get all had for Kamala.
Hey Donald, Kamala's coming for your ass. Holy shit, is she coming for your ass. You picked the wrong motherfucker with J.D. Vance. You fucked up big time, brother. Huh? The one guy that called you America's Hitler, that was your choice? Oh, you are too old now. You are just too fucking old and too senile. The media must call for you to step down immediately. I cannot wait to see you get your ass kicked in November. I'm gonna be watching with tears in my fucking eyes, Donald. Tears in my fucking eyes as the first woman president, as the first woman of color president takes the reins of the United States of America. And you lose again, Donald. Fucking again. First time to a guy that ran in his basement, as you say. The second time's gonna be to a black woman, and it's gonna be fucking mwah. Let's fucking go. Kamala has the support, the money, the enthusiasm. I hope you guys realize the significance of the history that's going to be made in November, because it's going to be fucking epic. Let's fucking go, Kamala. Booyah!
So he ate his balls on that hot take. But you're probably confused at this point. How could you possibly guess what his political affiliation is? He's so cryptic. I mean, it's even a mystery to him. He doesn't even know if he's supposed to label himself or other people are supposed to label him.
You know, I don't know how to label myself. I don't know if I'm supposed to label myself or other people label me. You know, is there a test that I take? I don't like calling myself something if I don't check all the boxes. And then until I see, okay, this is what a liberal is, box, you know, line by line. What does that mean as compared to a progressive, as compared to, I understand socialism and communism because of my studies of World War II, but you know, what are the exact, where do you draw the lines in the sand? I'm not fucking doing that. Do you call me what you want? I want to help you get healthcare. I want to help you save your house. I want to help you feed your kids. Yeah, you know what I mean? I want just the normal fucking things that a plumber from South Boston would fucking want.
He's such a man of the people. He knows he's on the left, he just doesn't know how far left he is. His soft skull is ripe for infiltration. But first, I want to comment on his body language. The man is leaping out of his own skin. He looks like he's explaining to his friend how he lost the Percocet for the night. Dude, I don't know what to tell you. I had a sack of Perc 30s in my jacket, the deal was done. Later on, I reached in my jacket and, well, I guess I should tell you I took a Xanny bar a few hours ago, but I take those every day, so it's not a problem. Wait, okay, hold on. Now that I think about it, I might have put him in the same bag as my Adderall. Maybe that's why I look like I'm tweaking out right now. So obviously, since he's a Democrat cum dumpster, he's working his way up the ranks. He's starting to get progressive content creators on his stream. What you're about to see is the exact reason why the left doesn't have their act together. They're all trying to come together to join forces and defeat Trump and rebuild a new Democratic Party. The technical issues Boston Brian has are hysterical, but he's on the left, so they all ignore them. But I'm not on the left, so I can't ignore them.
Turning Point USA is funded by billionaires themselves. So to go in there and to talk about the establishment on the left, you know, and not call it doesn't make any sense. But if I can find this, here it is right here. Let me see if I can share this. How do I bring in this now?
What the fuck?
There we go. StreamYard.
There we go. You got it.
So I'm gonna try to bring this up myself.
Sorry, dude.
There we go.
There we go.
What the hell is going on?
What the fuck?
I do apologize.
Take the time,
X that one out. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Did we lose him? Am I here by myself?
Kid got snorted up like a line out of existence.
Back momentarily. I love that he supports Ukraine and has the
Wow.
flag of Ukraine there.
That's so nice.
I think that's critical.
Critical.
I'm just gonna keep talking.
Yep.
Okay,
Because
we'll
he's
keep
not
talking till
there.
He comes back. But I think it's so critical that he supports, that people actually understand the difference between what Russia is doing there and what Ukraine is fighting against. I know we're talking about TYT, but I'm just filibustering until he gets back. But there's very few people in leftist spaces who are bold enough to actually just step out there and say,
Wow.
I support Ukraine.
So courageous to support Ukraine on the left. Oh my God.
Up against the Ukrainian people at the beginning of that war. And it's just absolutely.
This is what the left sounds like.
So
They can't sound like human beings.
and parse through the oh, there he's back. He's back. I was just celebrating.
Unbelievable. I think the Russians are after both of us today, my friend. I don't know what the heck was just going on. My computer just like was doing backflips. And I tried to bring in one video. I'm so sorry about that.
No.
Dude, my computer was just doing backflips. I don't know what was going on. That's so Boston.
Honestly, yes, and here we are, huge supporters of the Ukrainian people.
I'm pretty sure you can tell how far left someone is where it's Palestine season, but he's still in Ukraine season. They're like, okay, well, at least you're supporting Ukraine still. I'm pretty sure we've moved on to Palestine, but he's not far left enough to be supporting Palestine, so he's taking a pit stop at Ukraine. But that might have been a fluke. Let's see his adventures with the communist-titled content creators, the Vanguard. Vanguardism in Leninist struggle is a strategy where the most class-conscious members of the working class, known as the Revolutionary Vanguard, lead institutions to advance communist goals. The Vanguard works to engage the working class in revolutionary politics and to strengthen proletarian power against the bourgeoisie.
So let me see if I can bring these guys in. This is Zach and Gavin from the Vanguard. Let me see if I can do, it's going to be one of these buttons. I'll get it right at some point. What's happening, gentlemen? What's going on?
Yo, how are you?
Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat or if anybody knows differently, but I think that's what it's going on. What you're looking at is obviously a response from Ethan that we'll get to after we hear what this young woman has to say.
Here we go, dude.
You guys can hear that, right? Just to make sure.
Nope.
I actually don't think we can hear the audio, unfortunately.
All right, hold on. Let me see.
Let me just try the same exact thing again
Should be
and expect a different result.
remote. No, you should be able to hear it. Let
Yeah,
me see if I play it a little more. See if you get it.
there we go. That's him playing it.
I don't think so, but I get the gist of what I have been following this issue, so I am familiar with what she says. If that makes it easier.
Totally, dude.
Yeah. Basically, she's just calling him out for the same thing that we are. You know, saying how ridiculous it is.
Yeah, dude, so she was just gonna be saying the same shit that we're saying, but I'm too retarded to, like, work the buttons on this thing, so... But you guys get it. Quality programming. So Brian knows all about socialism and communism because of his studies from World War II.
You know, I understand socialism and communism because of my studies of World War II, but...
I don't know if he's aware of this, but socialism and communism evolved after World War II. Some would say it evolved with Chinese characteristics. So if you were talking to two communists and didn't realize it, and they said to you, stoke the fires of a cultural revolution,
and we have the time to stoke the fires of that cultural revolution.
you might not know what that means. Let me add some clarification.
In May 1966, the then leader of China, Chairman Mao Zedong, launched an ambitious political campaign which would, in his own words, struggle against and crush those persons in authority who are taking the capitalist road, so as to facilitate the consolidation and development of the socialist system. So, what was this all about? Well, Mao's political popularity was at an all-time low following the widespread famine of the 1950s, and this so-called revolution was a thinly veiled attempt to quickly dispose of anybody who might oppose his rule. He quite literally turned the people against his enemies. The majority of China's student population quickly got involved, setting up Red Guard divisions in universities across the country, and it would not be long before gangs of young people were roaming the streets, attacking and sometimes killing anybody who they believed to be members of the hated bourgeoisie. All in all, it's estimated that between 500,000 and 2 million people lost their lives before Mao realized that the whole thing had been a complete failure and finally began taking steps to bring it to an end.
So you know how the left loves to call racial jokes dog whistles? You know, like when you're just saying something factually correct and they can't tell you you're wrong, so they just say you're dog whistling? Well, would you believe me if I told you that's a projection? And that's exactly what they're doing with their propaganda? The Vanguard is named after a group of political zealots that volunteer to violently do the bidding of the state. On top of that, their messaging stoking the fires of a cultural revolution, and they just need a leader to kick it off. You ain't gotta be a dog to hear that one. That's simply a communist whistle. Let's all point and laugh at Brian's vaginal SHlTLIB response to communist propaganda.
So instead of just sinking deeper into this depression as a movement, And instead of continuing to cede ground culturally to this right-wing fascist force, no, we have to do the opposite. This actually gives us a beautiful opportunity that otherwise might not have been presented, which is to totally rethink this thing. You know, rethink what the opposition looks like, rethink what the alternative looks like. And we have the time to stoke the fires of that cultural revolution. We have the time and we have the ability to make it happen. The left needs a leader, not a manager. That's what we need. The people are never going to vote for a fucking manager. We need a leader.
Okay, Boston Brian, here we go, buddy. How are you going to respond to that? We need a leader and to stoke the fires of a cultural revolution. You have the spotlight and you now have the floor.
I just think we need to, trans rights, LGBTQIA.
He just completely buckles. Trans rights, LGBTQIA, that is what a SHlTLIB sounds like. That's a SHlTLIB. That's someone posing as a moderate Democrat, and then when they're confronted with extremism, they absolutely buckle and start going into NPC talking point mode.
Like I said, strengthening labor unions, making sure fucking people have health care, making sure that people, if they're working fucking a full-time job, are getting paid a wage where they can fucking put food on their table if they have kids. I think these are all things that we agree upon. I think these are all, simple ideas that can bring us together. We just, again, like I said, if you love your country, you should be able to criticize it, right? You should be able to criticize the people running it. You should be able to criticize the fucking people in charge. When you disagree, fucking tell them you disagree. If you don't tell them, how the fuck are they going to know and change their policy?
Boston Brian is nervously chattering like the DNC has his mother in the next room at gunpoint, and they're gonna pull the trigger if Brian doesn't do a tight 1-minute set of leftist moral grandstanding and platitudes. This guy is a test tube Democrat. He was created in a lab. He's a political experiment. Let me show you some receipts of what I'm talking about. Here he is a year ago in a video with 757,000 views on a channel with almost 4 million subscribers. Now you might be thinking to yourself, whose bag did he drain to get that gig? But there's no possible way he was generating that many views. They definitely didn't follow him to his own channel. But there's something strange about Boston Brian's video analytics. A good average like-to-view ratio on YouTube is around 4%. This means that for every 100 views, the video should receive around 4 likes. Now I don't want to get all Goodwill Hunting on you, but tell me what you think of this math. Gets 1,500 views on a video, 150 likes would be 10%. Pretty high above the average 4% ratio. It would be pretty suspicious if he had 150 likes on this video. But he has 481 likes. He's hitting over 30%. 2.7 thousand views? 540 likes would be 20%. That would be peculiar. 655 likes. Oh, fellas, it feels like there's some fuckery afoot. There's channels with 75 times his subscribers, with a 6,000 view count that gets 335 likes. Over twice the view count from a much larger channel, and Boston Brian has over twice the amount of likes. This seems like this is what the Meidas Touch Company does. They have almost 4 million subscribers, and they made this guy get 757,000 views, with 39,000 likes. Now, Destiny, who has been streaming among the longest of anyone in history and has a cult fan base, puts up a video with 893,000 views, and it only gets 13,000 likes. He's got 136,000 more views, and only a third of the likes of Boston Brian. How do Democrats keep encountering these statistical anomalies? We all know legacy media is dying. The left keeps squealing about finding their Joe Rogan, but they can't be charismatic or likable to save their lives. So what do? What did Kamala do? What do Democrats always do? Throw money at it. It is my firm belief that some shadowy figures on the left will bot the absolute hell out of any human booger willing to ooze out their talking points. You think Boston Brian knows any better? He's a Truman Show leftist, living in a predetermined hyperreality manufactured by his obviously inflated YouTube metrics. Combine this with the fact that it's normal in society for open communists to appear more moderate in order to radicalize the general public on the left. Hasan Piker admitted this in my last video.
Okay, my hiding being a communist. Okay, I had a show on the Young Turks called Agitative Propaganda. Even in these clips, there is a USSR Ushanka behind my head.
Then I saw clips like this where Hasan is explaining how he's hiding his power level to funnel in normies into radicalization.
I think that in the short term, in order to combat against that, you have to advocate for a much lighter form of propaganda. You want America, in the way that I feel about it, and if you want America to get out of the way for places with more revolutionary potential to do what they would normally do, I think that, you know, one thing you have to do is advocate for a lighter form while simultaneously still doing agitated propaganda that goes beyond, social democratic ideas.
Never in human history has there ever been such a thing as a single communist doing something. If the most popular leftist political streamer on Twitch can get away with this type of communist subversion in broad daylight, don't you think other communists are doing the same thing when given the opportunity? I mean, Hasan Piker had a show called Agitprop, named after Vladimir Ilyich Lenin's subversive communist strategy. Boston Brian is talking to the Vanguard, named after Vladimir Ilyich Lenin's aggressive and violent communist strategy. Boston Brian is a useful idiot on the left with fake engagement that he probably doesn't know about, platforming communist subversion on his livestream. In conclusion, the left is bolstering content creators with fake engagement, and it just so happens, as those smaller channels are growing, they're coincidentally platforming communists trying to radicalize their audience. If that's too big of a logical leap for you, never forget that CNN asked if unabashed communist Hasan Piker could be the Joe Rogan for the Democrats. CNN even used the same communist propaganda picture that InfoWars used to show how much of a communist Hasan Piker was. Isn't that wild? Have a good one.
Tony O'Sullivan.
This is Hasan Piker.
This is my dog Kaya. I thought you legitimately were gonna work out.
I could do some weights. He's a social media superstar with almost 3 million followers on the video streaming platform Twitch.
They're eating the pets.
So this is that whole masculinity thing people are talking about, huh? And he's part of a growing group of streamers and podcasters reaching young men online, a space Trump tapped into to reach young male voters.
Punch in, then you won't be able to see that he's not doing any weights.
But Hasan is not a Trump supporter. He's a progressive, a fan of Bernie and AOC. The Democratic Party even invited him to the DNC in August. One thing we've been hearing for weeks now is that the left needs a Joe Rogan. There's been a lot of controversy around you.
Yes.
The way you talk about Israel is viewed by some as anti-Semitic.
Yeah.